I would like to welcome all of us to the official sword turning ceremony of the Unisa Sunnyside Development Project. I welcome our Unisa Council members, our executive management, our extended management here with us today, our projects professional team, our representation from Department of Higher Education and Training, and the Principal and Vice Chancellor's Office. I'd like to welcome the team members, the colleagues from Gauteng Regional Extended Management Committee, the Gauteng Regional Student Representative Council, the Unisa Black Forum, Unisa APSA, and the project team that is working on this auspicious project, not forgetting the Unisa Gauteng staff members. Round of applause to welcome everybody here this morning. What a proud moment for the Unisa community at large and the Department of Higher Education and Training. I would like to get us started, just looking at time now, and to request my colleague, Mr. Solufelang Matsiababa Mutebele, to join us here on stage for a welcome and context of this sword turning ceremony.
Okay, sure. Good morning. Good morning. Program Director, members of the University Council present here, the representatives from the Department of Higher Education, Training, Science and Technology, members of the Management Committee, members of Senate present here, members of Extended Management, students and the student representatives, that's the reason we are here, the students, representatives from all regions, the project team, the Unisa community, invited guests, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Tabela, Molweni, Sanbonani, Absheni, the Machironi, Awaga Rapalelo. Thank you. I would like really to welcome everybody present here, and please feel free at the Sunnyside campus. I know that you see a lot of construction planned here, but rest assured you are safe here in Sunnyside. And welcome and thank you for coming to this great occasion. It is indeed an honor and privilege to welcome you in this auspicious occasion, in this historic groundbreaking sword turning event at the University of South Africa. This event happens amidst the University of South Africa celebrating its 150 years celebration birthday as the oldest open long distance learning university in the world. Can we please? Today pays testimony to the commitment of this council, the current council, and I need to put that in bold, that after such a long time, and this management under the leadership of Professor Puleng LenkaBula, that these projects, after some of them were approved 10 years ago, but in about a short space of time under this management, the projects are now starting. And I think we need to give our council a round of applause and the current management. As I indicated, some approvals really happened over 10 years ago. And finally, we are happy today that we will commence with these projects. I will not waste your time, noting that we have started a bit late. I will just give you the context of these projects. Primarily, what we are going to be doing here in the main is that we will be constructing the Disability Center of Excellence. That I'll talk to later in my presentation. We will be developing what we call Sunnyside Phase 1 and Phase 2. That is renovating some of the flats here into high-tech computer labs and study facilities, 24-hour facilities. These facilities are going to be utilized, amongst others, by our postgrad. So management listened when students in Sunnyside said that where they are staying, they are unable to sometimes do their schoolwork. So there will be a 24-hour study facility here, equipped with high-tech computer laboratories, and we are very thankful to that. I will quickly talk about the Disability Center of Excellence. That is actually our flagship project that we will see earlier on when we get into our 3D designs. The center will be a world-class specialized research entity for people living with disability. It will advance research that influences policy and that contributes to the independence and full participations of persons living with disabilities in various settings. The center will offer translation of research into physical applications to persons with disability, and using technologies and assistive technologies. And this, I need to add that this facility will not only service Unisa, because it's the first of its kind in the country. We anticipate that we will be collaborating with other universities as the university, and for us, that's really a great deal. Since the center the construction of the Center of Disabilities of Excellence is part of the strategic planning of the university, and will develop innovative and transformative ways of learning to benefit the students with disabilities. The other aspect of what we're developing here, we are upgrading the Sunnyside security. You will see that we have commenced with the fencing project with high-tech CCTV, because we have had many incidences of crime in Sunnyside. So as such, this project will respond to that. And would also like at this point to thank the Department of Higher Education. We've got Mr. Donald Kubai present here for really assisting Unisa with the funding towards this project. I don't know whether my slides are playing there. Colleagues. So the project we've already spoken about. So this is currently the what we envisage as the 3D artistic impression upon completion of these projects. That we will have to improve. You would have seen that our landscaping here in Sunnyside leaves much to be desired. So a part of the projects will be to upgrade the look and feel of Sunnyside. So that is your Disability Center of Excellence. That's what we envisage to construct here in Sunnyside. One of our projects is you have seen this on your left of this marquee, there's Avondale Flats, which are heritage buildings. We will be converting aspects of those buildings into what I said earlier, into computer laboratories, study facilities, to accommodate, in some instances, over 400 students at a time. So we are proud that instead of us leaving these buildings to really dilapidate further, we are converting them into study spaces that will also be utilized by research students, postgraduate students. This is one of the flats, the Unit 8 flats. The same principle, we are converting these spaces into study spaces for research and computer laboratories. I will quickly play you this the video for the Disability Center of Excellence. That's the aerial view of the facility. That's the Disability Center of Excellence, colleagues. That's the rest of the development, as I indicated, with regard to the renovations of some of the flats. One of the buildings that we anticipate we are going to put up in Sunnyside is the multi-purpose facility with a conference facility in it. You will see it on this video. There you have that possible conference facility. Thank you very much, colleagues. That's the. We decided that we do not want to show you more because the proof is in the pudding. So we need to construct this thing so that we have an opening ceremony for such. And thank you very much. Welcome. Thanks.
Thank you, Mr. Mutebele. My colleague, Prof Mewa, reminded me that I did not introduce myself. And then I told her, I just work here, you know, Tenju, I just work here. So I'm your program director for this morning. My name is Mathabo Nakeni Mgingqi. I'm the Vice Principal ICT and CIO. Once again, congratulations to my colleague, Mr. Mutebele. He has been wanting this moment for quite some time in anticipation and really working very hard with his team to get us to this point. So well done, Mr. Mutebele. You are doing well, my colleague. I'm making him shy. And I also want us to welcome our sign language interpreter, Ms. Sophie Mabasu. She and I will be taking you through this short program this morning. And now, colleagues, I would like us to welcome some colleagues for messages of support. I would request that I call the colleagues up in the following order, and then the colleagues will come up. May I please have Professor Masha from the Center of Excellence in Disability, followed by Ms. Masalesa, the Regional Director of Gauteng Region in Unisa, Ms. Lushaba, I'm getting lost now, Ms. Lushaba, Chairperson of the Gauteng Regional SRC, followed by Ms. Gratitude Rampaka, Member of Council, Professor Vilankomo, Member of Senate, and Mr. Kubai, the Deputy Director, Infrastructure Support in DHET, will be our last message of support. May I please start with Professor Pasha.
Thank you, Program Director. My surname is Pasha, not Masha. Yeah. Okay. Vice Chancellor and the Principal of Unisa, Executive and Extended Management, Council members, dignitaries, City Councillor, ladies and gentlemen, good morning, and thank you very much for your presence. It is a pleasure, an honor, and great privilege to be able to express appreciation and support to the team that has made it possible
Sorry, Prof.
Okay.
It's more visible.
Okay, thank you. To the team that made it possible to gather here to mark the commencement of the construction of the Center of Excellence in Disabilities. It's just one of those projects. Colleagues, it is humbling for me because the Unisa Center of Excellence in Disabilities is my brainchild. Conceptualized in 2010, encouraged and supported by the former executive deans of SEDU, Professor Zimbo and Professor Veronica Mackey. I never thought what was once a dream will one day become a reality. And thank you. One day, Prof. Zimbo invited me to his office and asked, "Can you share that idea of yours again?" I downplayed it and said, it is just a dream. Professor Mackey said, "No, Pasha, that dream can actually become a reality." She reminded me that Unisa upholds the principles of social justice. And when the call for D-head infrastructure support opened, I thought this could be it. And I put my ideas down. The response was positive and funding was granted. Okay, thank you. Following the award, I had to clarify and explain to the institutional committee that this is not a hospital or a mental hospital. And it took 6 sessions to convince the committee. Interrogations were intense, but they were necessary. Following this, the university asked me to benchmark and strengthen the idea. I then led a team of colleagues to benchmark the concept in South Africa and in the US. And I was with Professor Mahlo and Dr. Siva Mutli. He's here today. And by that time, by the way, Dr. Siva Mutli is the then chairperson of Unisa Employees Disability Forum, and he was also the director of ACSUIT that time. The Center of Excellence in Disabilities was first conceptualized as the Diagnostic Center, and later it became Disability Unit. Following the benchmarking, it became known as Unisa Center of Excellence in Disabilities, which recognizes that disability cuts across all disciplines. Disability is everyone's concern. Establishing the Center of Excellence in Disabilities as Unisa is suitable, given that the institution enshrines the value of social justice and fairness, promoting equity of access and opportunities for all. In addition, Unisa admits over 2,000 students with various disabilities. And as an ODL institution, Unisa has the potential to a greater number of students with disabilities as compared to other residential institutions. Therefore, Unisa's staff should be able to interact and work comfortably with staff and students with disabilities. Also, Unisa students with disabilities should have access to all fields of study. The institution must aggressively drive multi, inter, and transdisciplinary research on disability inclusion. Considering that the university is located in Pretoria, very close to the national ministry, when they think about disability, they must think about Unisa. Therefore, what makes Unisa deserving of this facility is that it is well positioned and equipped to provide evidence-based interventions and support to persons with disabilities. To the project managers at University Estate, we have come a long way. In my language, we say, "Rijahole." Sometimes it may feel like your hard work is not appreciated. Be assured that your achievements are noticed. I have seen you working long hours to complete those complicated documents and to ensure that they are submitted timeously. I have seen you pulling together as a team as resources keep being pulled away from you. And I've seen you giving up precious time with your family to give that time to our cause. Thank you so much. Okay, since August is Women's Month, allow me to acknowledge some of the women who contributed greatly towards this initiative. I'm going to start with our VC and Principal, Professor LenkaBula. I know you are very much passionate about disability issues. I would like to thank you for your support. You make things happen. Thank you so much. Professor Veronica McKay is not here, but I'm truly thankful for nurturing the idea of the Center of Disabilities. The project managers from University Estate, Mrs. Priti Vasan Makam and Mrs. Rendani, I appreciate your commitment and determination in ensuring that the project, this VC1, is executed. Thank you. The architecture, Mrs. Tina Kubeli, is there. You have delivered the state-of-the-art architectural structure, which is disability friendly. We have worked together for over 10 years now, and I was happy when you handed over the final plan 2 weeks ago. Thank you so much. The late Dr. Rachel Prinsloo has assisted immensely during the preparation and submission of the proposal. May her soul rest in peace. Lastly, Mr. Matsia Baba Mutebele. And Dr. Siva Mutli, you were there. You were there from the beginning. I thank you from the bottom of my heart. To everyone who has been involved directly or indirectly in this project, thank you very much. And to the Department of Higher Education, Research and Innovation, thanks a million for the funds. You changed lives. Thank you and thank you.
Halala Unisa, halala. Halala Unisa, halala. Good morning, everybody in this meeting and this beautiful event that we have been waiting for. VC and Principal of Unisa, Professor LenkaBula. VP, Mr. Mtebele Matia Baba. Professor Sepota, Acting Registrar. Members of the Executive Management Committee of Unisa, all the visitors that we have invited, the members of council, all protocol observed. I feel very much honored today as we have gathered here to celebrate a significant milestone. My name is Muipone Sene Masalesa, Regional Director, Gauteng. I'm accompanied by a big number of Gauteng region staff. I'm also accompanied by the students of Unisa that are in our midst. You must all realize that Sunnyside campus is a hub of activity whereby we meet our students at the coalface. I'm looking at the pictures that Mr. Mtebele prepared for us, and I feel so proud to say that this is the new Unisa that is coming with the new management. I'm very proud because the VC and the VP, I worked with them when they were moving up the levels. They are products of Unisa, hence they are doing these beautiful things for Unisa students and the Unisa community. Let's give them a big hand. As a regional director of Gauteng, I'm truly honored to witness the fruition of a vision that is close to our hearts, all of us. We must congratulate everybody who has put her hand into this beautiful event that we are hosting. You can imagine, for us who have been part of the furniture in Unisa, I'm saying who has been part of the furniture in the sense that we stay here with the students until very late in the evenings. And this side that has now gone under improvement is the side whereby Mr. Matlala, I didn't see him, would work 24/7. Mr. Matlala, I think people must see you and how far we have come and how far you made the life to the student very comfortable in this Sunnyside campus, especially on this side whereby there were really things that were very bad that were happening here. Mr. Matlala, I really wanted that people must see you, that we have walked a very long journey whereby you were protecting the students with your body, not just with your body. Now let me share with you about contemporary issues now, when we realize that now the VC is Mrs. Action, the VP is Mr. Action, and then we realize that really we are in the good hands. Now, at the heart of this project, the creation of a new 24-hour study facilities was also accommodated. I think for those who are around us know how difficult it is when the examinations are closer and our students will need a safe place to work at. Now, the creation of this 24-hour facility will actually be able to accommodate 300 students at a time, but if you stagger it, it can accommodate up to 1,500. This Sunnyside development project is actually a vision and that encompasses several initiatives that the people from Gauteng region are part of. And I really want to applaud the students and the staff that has been working together to make sure that this project is realized. Our commitment is inclusively extended beyond academic pursuit. From the VC, she will always tell us to turn the regions into center of academic excellence. Is this not part of it? Let's realize it. So from Gauteng region, I'm saying that our commitment to inclusivity extends beyond academic pursuits. A groundbreaking initiative that we are witnessing today is actually befitting to be called Access for Quality Education. Ladies and gentlemen, these initiatives are more than just buildings and facilities, but they symbolizes an unwavering dedication of excellence, inclusivity, and the transformation power of education. Therefore, in conclusion, as we are embarking on this journey, I call upon each one of you to join hands so that we can collectively not just cherish the project, but then even utilize fully the project as it comes to an end to the benefit of Unisa community and our students. In conclusion, I would like the Gauteng region management that are here just to stand up, and then you should appreciate the people that are actually behind this. Please, 2 minutes, Gauteng region, please wave because you have arrived. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Hey. Thank you, Program Director. My name is Joubert, the chairperson of the SRC in the Greater Johannesburg region. I would like to extend my greetings to the Vice Chancellor, Prof LenkaBula, Acting Registrar, Prof Seputa, Mr. Kubai, VP is present here with us today, Madam Regional Director, Mema Salisa, managers from all the different departments present here, the SRC of Tshwane, the NSRC present here, student populace of Unisa, colleagues, distinguished guests, all protocol observed. As we celebrate 150 years, indeed it is a new day, a bright day and a day of hope for the students of the University of the Land. It is what we have been hungry for, and finally, something positive to talk about as the institution, and this is exactly what we need. We all know the challenges we have been facing for a while now, with the media also being a hawk around the daily running of the institution and potentially disturbing the confidence the students have over the university. This again feels like a breath of a fresh air. As the SRC, we are appreciative of this because it relieves us of some cries of the students. A center of study increases and improves students' life and culture. Engaging with other students within your faculty or college rather helps one understand things better than they would have alone. To us, student representatives, it also serves as an assurance that we are not the only ones with the interest of the students at heart. It gives comfort to continue working and serving students. Being in an ODL institution is very challenging, but with such projects it gets easier. We are thankful that it is finally done. Power cuts are detrimental, and it is during those times that students need to visit campuses to study, submit their work, and write exams. It is one thing to know you form part of a ratio, but another to know that you are a part that is well taken care of. With needs that are catered for, and I'm happy the building will cater for students living with disability. I'm happy that the building will cater for students living with disability as well. Unisa is the largest, or is a large ODL institution in the world. That alone carries so much weight and carries great expectations. We shall dare not fail the poor students in Dumbe, Mankweng, Kweru, and so on. I want to close by the quote by the late former President Nelson Mandela. I quote, "After climbing a great hill, one only finds that there are many more hills to climb." For the fact that we are here today, it is indeed a big step. We will have challenges, but This project is almost done, colleagues. Indeed, we are defining tomorrow. I would like to call the chairperson of Tshwane to come and say a few words as I am observing protocol, since you all know this is not my region, but I have to do that. I thank you, colleagues. Aluta continua. Amanda. Thank you.
Program Director, Madam Vice Chancellor, and the collective, Progressive, Mr. Mtebele, the VP, the council that is led by people of action, who are saying, well done. Once again, my name is Kosinati David Neo, the chairperson of the SRC here in Tshwane region. Indeed, it's a dream come true. We have been fighting for too long that Unisa Sunnyside campus is a suntan of hobos, because they even had storerooms and everything here in our campus. We were not safe, but today we'll leave homes, come to campus with a smile that indeed we are going to the university. The Sunnyside campus was not representing what Unisa stands for, but we are saying today, thanks to the leadership of action led by Madam Vice Chancellor of Unisa, Professor LenkaBula. My colleague have already said a lot. Don't say, comrade, I didn't observe the protocol. It was already observed, but I was just continuing. As you know, that in Gauteng we are big and we are many. As our RD have already indicated that we are having 2 regions, but all of them, they come to Sunnyside campus, who are the mother of them all. So we are happy as we celebrate this 150 years. We are celebrating it with a smile. Our colleagues who are living with disability, they will have a smile as well, that they are going to campus, a campus that suit them as well, not the one that exclude them. To the leadership of the Safety and Protection Service led by Mr. Matlala, I think you will stop receiving emails that even at 12 at night will call you and say, we want to start the year, so make a plan. And you have to drive and come, and we appreciate you, Mr. Matlala. Hopefully that as time moves, that Sunnyside campus, the issue of saying building 1, building 2, and so forth, it will come to an end. That control service, we want to see it named after Mr. Matlala, comrades. He have contributed a lot. They raised us. Today we are standing in front of you. When we arrive in this campus, we were nobody, but today we are graduates, and they've been taking care of us in a proper way, giving us a proper advices. Comrade RD, thank you very much. I mean, like, we're no longer going to send emails that it's exam time, we must cross night. It will just happen automatically. And we are saying thank you very much. And the leadership of action, continue doing your job, and we are proud. And as students, we appreciate that. And as we celebrate this 150 years in style, we are happy. And we are more than happy. We are hoping that good things are yet to come. And you are saying, Mr. Mtebele, don't forget that there is a facility of sports that side. Take care of it. We want to showcase our talent. As I was entering, Mr. Mtebele engaged with me and say I was too good with these things of high jumps, long jumps and so forth. He was saying, even myself, I might be thin like this, but I'm good on these things of rugby, you see. So he was saying, please, not all of us are going to succeed on the route of academics. Others, they can showcase their talent via sports and everything. So please, we are pleading with you that don't leave us behind. Do everything and we will support you on behalf of the entire Tshwane SRC, we're saying once again, job well done, and we are fully behind the job that you're doing. Thank you very much.
Should I try? Good morning, members of council, VC, members of management, and SRC, and the invited guests. Good morning again. My name is Gratitude Rampaka. I'm representing the Chair of Council this morning, and it is my honor to be representing the council. In pursuit of becoming the African university shaping futures in the service of humanity, the university has embarked on a mix of projects with the aim of increasing project optimization, creating adaptable spaces, and establishing new revenue streams. The main objective of the infrastructure projects identified for implementation is to support the university's vision and strategic identity as an open learning institution on the African continent, with a conducive physical and educational learning environment that is necessary, easily accessible, inclusive and relevant, and that enables learning to take place optimally. The infrastructure projects are based on the Unisa strategy as approved by Council. The Disability Center of Excellence is one of the university's flagship investments in Sunnyside. Today marks the first day for the construction of the center, which will serve as an inclusive educational diagnostic and research unit concerned with various types of disabilities such as intellectual, visual, hearing, autism, and reading or dyslexia, and assistive technology units. The center will also provide opportunities for staff to undertake cutting-edge research, disability diagnosis, development of research-based education, interventions, and training. Furthermore, the center will serve as an extended support service for Unisa students with disabilities. The expectation from Council is that the project will be on time, within budget, good quality, safe facility, and will ultimately meet the Unisa community and end user needs. I'd like to take this opportunity to wish you well in this massive endeavor, and our expectations are that you will be successful in this project. Thank you very much.
Good morning to everyone, and thank you very much with the message from the Chair of Council and other messages which have come through. I stand here on behalf of Senate. Senate wishes to congratulate everyone who has been involved in the development of this project. As Senate, we place an emphasis on good governance, good education, good research, and making sure that the facilities which the university has are appropriate. We want to produce graduates who can actually make a difference in South Africa, in the continent, and the world. They must compete with the world because the world is their playing field. We are happy that this facility is being constructed to be continentally competitive, to be globally competitive. We have heard about other centers in the world, like living and learning centers, auditoriums and lecture halls of significance, postgraduate facilities, lounges within the facilities, computer centers of excellence, intercultural facilities, and we believe that what is coming through today is going to be a reflection of how our university is globally competitive and our university intends to do good for our students as well as South African society. May I make a few other points which I think are very important. When facilities are decaying, it becomes imperative that universities come in and play a significant role. The inner city of Pretoria has been going through some decay. Let's admit it and accept it. It is timely and very strategic for the University of Pretoria, for the University of South Africa, not Pretoria, the University of South Africa to come in and be the leader in making sure that revitalization of the city is occurring. We congratulate you. What I wanted to say actually was that I'm happy that the university across the other side, which is the University of Pretoria, is not in the lead of actually the revitalization of the city of Pretoria. I want to also say our university's commitment to community engagement grants us an opportunity through today's event to be part of our Sunnyside revitalization and community development. I want to ask you all to look at the following books that have been published. One titled Hidden Pretoria. Hidden Pretoria. There's another one titled Hidden Johannesburg, and the third one is Hidden Cape Town. What this university of ours is doing is to expose this particular area which has been hidden, and this particular area where the facility is going to be built is an indicator that our university is about revitalization. To conclude, we must also pay attention that universities compete with their buildings and what is in the buildings. In today's education, facilities mean a lot. You can't take facilities for granted and just dump students in places which are not competitive. I want to also say restoration is an art. I heard it loud and clear that there's going to be restoration. I'm excited about the restoration because restoration means that you know what you have and what can you do with it and make it current and futuristic. And finally, I want to challenge the students in particular to protect and defend this resource where money is being invested, protect it from destruction and protect it from abuse, and make sure that this facility is actually kept into the foreseeable future so that future generations can have access to it and use it properly. Students must play a critical role, as well as academics, by the way. Academics must play a role, and staff must play a critical role in safeguarding the infrastructure of the institution, because this is prime. These are prime investments which are being made. Last, government cannot revitalize cities or places without universities playing a critical role. Evidence is abound all over the world. And I thank you very much. Long live the University of South Africa.
Yeah, I'm also told, so I won't use this thing. Morning, Chairperson, and Vice Chairperson, Vice Chancellor, and as well as members of the Council, members of the Senate, SRC, and your colleagues, and everyone, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning. Now, I won't read the speech. I will just talk from heart, because it was supposed to be my senior managers who should give a keynote address, but they saw it fit to send me because I've been involved with the institution in terms of infrastructure. First and foremost, for me, this event is important for two reasons. One, I'm the current student in the Faculty of Law, the faculty that produces clever students. I wish it's a joke, but it's true. And then secondly, when I joined the department, within 3 years, I had an opportunity to be seconded to the infrastructure division, the division that administers the grants that goes to universities, as a senior admin officer. And at that time, it was when the department was assessing proposal for funding for all infrastructure-related issues. So I was involved with compiling all the submission from institution, preparing them. I read almost every proposal because the senior managers don't read the pack. So, but not in Unisa. I think they do read. So, and part of it was a time when they introduced disability funding at that time. And when the disability was introduced with limited budget, 143 million to be shared across 23 institutions at that time. And I'm happy to say Unisa and other two institutions are the one who received the bigger portion of that 143 million. Unisa 20 and then the other institution 25. And the reason for that, now it depends on the proposal. So the biggest was, the reason for these two institutions in particular was simple because their proposal went beyond buying equipment, because the rest of institution were just equipment for disability students and so forth, which made them to receive an average of 1.5 million. But Unisa and the other institution came with a proposal that had to do with a building that houses disability facilities and so forth. That's why they were supported at that level. So the department was supportive to Unisa, even though it's been 10 years when the funds or the project was approved. Our Unisa facilities manager will know that sometimes we do fight, but at the same time, when treasurer comes and say, bring back the money, we realize, oh, actually Unisa is our sibling. we can't sell them. So we go to those meetings, and it was easy to defend. It was easy to defend because it talks about disability issues. Even when Treasury because they use these tough words, it's undefendable, it's unrecondable, bring back the money. So it was easy for us to defend, looking at how the project has been envisaged to do in the future, given the fact that they was pointing out the fact every year zero expenditure, every year planning, So we want to take this money, and I'm happy to say with the Unisa colleagues and our senior management, they were able to convince Treasurer that if you were to take money not on this project, it has to be somewhere else because of the way it was conceptualized. So I think you can clap hands for that. Vice Chancellor and the whole team that played a bigger role in this project, we congratulate you because it's the first of its kind that has been redefined from the way it was originally conceived. That is not just a building to house disability unit of the institution. It has moved beyond that to also serve as an academic facility for disability inclusion. That in itself, it's unique because there's no other institution with such a facility that serves multi-purpose. So the department, we are supportive for such any projects and we are committed, and we thank you that now work will begin and it will be easier for us to stand and defend Unisa when Treasurer try to harass the institution. But just bear with us when we fight. Let's all remember that at the end of the day, we are siblings. When we need to defend ourselves, we must go together and join hands and move forward. So with those words, and hopefully with the words of our senior manager, we are still committed to work together in collaboration to support the institution going forward with any other infrastructure-related projects that are meant to improve student and staff experience for persons with disability. With those words, thank you.
Thank you, Kevin. I think this is really meant for me. Thank you so much, Mr. Kubai. I really appreciate you speaking from the heart and emphasizing that we are siblings. And the department remains committed to walk this journey with us for infrastructure projects. I am truly humbled by those words. Colleagues, I would like to call upon our Vice Chancellor, Professor Puleng LenkaBula, to provide the address for us this morning. Yes, she is indeed Mama Action. I should know. I should know. Welcome, Prof.
Khatsong, Dumelang, Sanbanan, Lochan. This side is quiet. Are you angry? What's happening with the right side? I can hear the left side is progressive. Good morning. I really want to, if I knew how to ululate, I'd do so. Thank you. Thank you very much. I don't know how to ululate, and I often am mesmerized when the ululations and mechulukwane are shared. Let me acknowledge you, Ms. M. Nakene Mkingi, the Chief Information Officer and Vice Principal of Digitalization at Unisa. Let me also recognize members of our University of South Africa Council. This morning, may I please request them to stand, because just for us to acknowledge and appreciate you. May you please stand for those who may not have seen you. Colleagues, internal and external as well. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. You may be seated. We know that for any work that has to be done, there must be the convergence of the different statutory systems within the university, with the apex being council. So we're truly appreciative that members of council are here to celebrate with us. Let me also recognize my colleagues in MENCOM. May I please request them to stand? I know that Professor Mutsa is participating virtually. Professor Ndlovu, thank you very much. Prof Mahanu was here. He has just had to travel because we will be going to Parliament tomorrow. So you should be aware of that, colleagues. I want to thank you. Let me also recognize our colleague. Actually, I was saying, Mr. Kubai, we need to do more work with yourselves so that we support our students and our students become sites of excellence. So thank you very much, Mr. Kubai, the Deputy Director of Infrastructure Management from the Department of Science and Technology and Higher Education. Can we give him a round of applause? Then I recognize the members of Regional Extended Management led by Mayor Mwiponi Masalisa and all other regional representatives or directors here present. Let me also recognize the members of the project team who are here. I'll recognize Ntate Mutebele has already done so. Let me request, therefore, to also recognize the various institutional statutory structures that are here present. We recognize Institutional Forum, Senate, Student Representative Council, Convocation, as well as the Student Services Council members who are here. I also want to recognize Mr. B. Masakwana, the Chairman of APSA, Ms. P. Langa, the Secretary General of Black Forum, members of NEHAU Union here present. They've not given us a name. The National Council of the Student Representative Council, Unisa communities here. Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. I am excited because Professor Pasha gave you the history of the development of the Center for Excellence for Students with Disabilities. I wanted to go back before the Professor Pasha, so that as we record the historiography of the university, that we become inclusive and do not leave out those who were also accompaniers into this process. So in early 2006, during the time of Professor Pityana, the idea of setting up a transformation office had arisen because of the legislative changes that were happening. At that point, Ms. Lengane was appointed to lead transformation. Part of the work that Ms. Lengane did was to help coordinate ACSWID, the Advocacy Resources Center for Students with Disabilities, which was led by Dr. Moodley. He was the first director to be appointed. With that, colleagues, it became clear that the work of any university in supporting universal access for disabilities or students with disabilities could not succeed if there was not strong teaching, learning, and research supporting infrastructure. I'm happy that one of our members of council here, who has been a strong partner in the support of disability sector, is here, because that history and the evolution of institutionalization of support for students with disabilities must be recorded and shared. One of the critical ideas is, Professor Pasha, let's not leave Professor Libelwani and Professor Mabunda next to you, because those were the champions for the work that you are doing. Those were the people who said, Professor Pasha and Professor, what is his name? He went to SABC. Professor Magube. They said, we have just made an important appointment in this university. Professor Pasha, who's very passionate about universal access for students with disabilities. And therefore it will be important that she becomes an anchor to the research agenda so that ACSWID has an intellectual agenda and research that's associated to it. So I really wanted to ensure that whilst we affirm the initiative of our colleagues in the College of Education, led through Professor Pasha, that we don't leave our colleagues in ACSWID and in transformation who form a triad of leaders that made this to become a project that we are celebrating today. Can I ask ACSWID colleagues, including yourself, Dr. Mudli, you'll forever be an ACSWID person, so you're not going to. Can I please ask them to stand? These are the champions. You're also ACSWID, Professor Pasha. You're also ACSWID. Your center arose as part of enhancing this. Colleagues, these are the people who were at the center of the development of the 23 multi-purpose laboratories that we set in all the campuses of the University of South Africa, which were meant to serve students with disabilities across the country. And I want to acknowledge them as we celebrate this second phase, the big milestone that Professor Pasha and her team would have enabled us. I think history is very important to record appropriately so that we don't lose others, even as we celebrate the excellence and talent of our colleagues. So Professor Pasha, I'm truly elated, and I want those colleagues not to be forgotten because we did not refer to them when we were celebrating these important milestones. The second part that I wanted to state is that ACSWID is an important imperative. It will not flourish, Professor Pasha, if your center is a center on its own. And we are going to propose as management that perhaps the Center of Disabilities and the center, ACSWID, find resonance and convergence. That's a proposal that we would like you to start engaging on today. Thank you. So colleagues, let me get to my speech now and say today, we stand on the precipice of a new era, a time when the vision and action must converge, whether we negotiate or we don't negotiate. It is a distinct honor for me to address you on this remarkable occasion as we gather to celebrate the accomplishments of the convergence between an academic environment that is led by Professor Pasha and the team, Advocacy Resources Center, but also the work of facilities management led by Ntate Matsia Baba Mutebele. I think he deserves a round of applause. He deserves a round of applause, colleagues, because when he joined in his first day, I told him, Mr. Mutebele, there are many DHET projects. When I first went to a meeting of DHET, I was told that they are going to get the money back. They want their money back because these have been approved in 2014, but nothing has happened. I could understand why the Department of Higher Education was a little bit irritated with us as the university, for we had not dealt with these important projects with the agility that was required. And in our little speak, management team knows this. I'd say to Mr. Mutebele, please don't allow me to sit on your head on this. Run with it, because if we don't run with it, we will not have assisted the university to ensuring that the success of students, their support, and the work of the university is successful. Mr. Donald did not tell you that they wanted their money back, and we said, no, we're not giving you the money back. Where is he? He can attest to the fact that I said, no, we are not giving you the money back. We are proceeding with the program, and we are appreciative that they were patient enough with us and that this project will roll out as it has already started. Amongst these projects, colleagues, is the Center of Excellence in Disability at the Sunnyside campus, which will serve the national agenda, not just Unisa agenda. But there's also the development of research areas that will allow us students to have 24-hour service and support. We know as the university that some of our students, 178,000 of them, come from environments where they don't have their study systems or the environment of learning that allows them to becoming centers of excellence that they would like to be. And we are hoping that this center, the Avondale, that will be refurbished and redeveloped, will be enabling for them to accessing these aspects. We know that in our country and in the world, issues of disabilities are part of the United Nations Convention on the Rights of Persons with Disabilities, and that they enjoin state parties to protect peoples with disabilities, to ensure that they get access to education, that they are themselves able to be independent and to function as best as they should. We are also aware that when we talk about disabilities, universal access with disabilities, we're not just talking about people living with disabilities, but also we are including those of us who are currently temporarily able, but might not know whether tomorrow we may be living with disabilities. So it's about that idea of social justice, of creating enabling environments for our students to learning, but also of ensuring that people living with disabilities are not left on their own, but they have friends, partners, accompaniers in the work that they do. Colleagues, as the university, if we don't invest in the supporting infrastructures for student support, we will not gain the successes that we want. This project is amongst the first. Next year, we will be announcing to you a collaborative program with Bristol University and one of the universities in the UAE, where we will be looking into building facilities for veterinary sciences. And we are looking forward to ensuring that these areas that our country and society require will be the sites of excellence. So there's still a lot of running that we will be making. The President of South Africa, President Matamela Ramaphosa, stated that it's important that we don't just acknowledge peoples with disabilities, but we institutionalize and legislate on the supporting systems for them to flourish. In this instance, in this year, our country has recently adopted sign language as the 12th official language of the country. I'm appreciative. Thank you. I'm appreciative that we are starting to invest in that, and we are going to ensure that Professor Pasha, even as you do your research, you help us to develop this area, for not many people are strong in this area. We're told technologies are important, but they cannot be important on their own if humanity and skill sets that are required are not strengthened. We look at Sunnyside campus and this project as the hub for that. Colleagues, I want to state that as a university, but also as the people who have been bequeathed with opportunities in the democratic era, we must understand that garden that Mr. Mutebele was showing. There's a proposal that that garden should be called Tokologo, or Freedom Garden, to celebrate these dynamics of inspiration, of change, but also of holding accountable post-apartheid leaders of institutions, of the country, of cities, of universities. Never to take for granted the transformation role, the centrality of the transformation role of our society through university systems and through infrastructure. And I'm appreciative if the university is agreeable to that proposal that has been made to Mr. Mutebele, then the Freedom or Tukuluho Garden will be that space where professors, academics, students, professional staff, administrative staff will have the opportunity to dream about the change that they want to invest at Unisa, as was the case with our colleague, Professor Pasha. Colleagues, we want to state that the Freedom Garden must be that space that we honor Unisa staff and students to think about the issues they would like to see as the changes that Unisa invests in order to change the plight of the university. In the recent rankings, Unisa has been ranked number 8 in Times Higher Education. Professor Meyiwa, I'm sure the disability centers will tell you that the research is going to improve, and maybe we will improve our rankings. Colleagues, it requires a round of applause. Even if I'm asking for this round of applause, it is not for me, it is for us. Because all of us have worked together to ensure that Unisa is ranked number 8 in Times Higher Education. We used to have her in 2019 around 13, 15. We should be honest with ourselves. And now we have the web metrics that ranks us at number 7. Okay. The web metrics is not one of the larger rankings. It's a 20-year ranking system. The Shanghai ranking system, which is the premium, one of the best in the world, ranks Unisa number 7. And it's the most recent ranking, and we should be appreciative, but now I'm not happy that we are number 7. I would like us to be in the top 5 of the rankings. We should, and we will be top 5 when academics, professional staff, administrative staff, our students, our statutory committees, the management team, when we all work together as a collective. Ke tlo bua ka Sotho, le tla hlalosetsa ba bang. Ha hona ntho e mpe jwalo ka ha bana ba Tharientsho ba lwantshana ba sitisa ho haha setjhaba ba shebile hore ba senye ebe rona re le batho mama Africa ha re sebeletse setjhaba le haeba ha le nrate ke le motho a ke tsotelle ke a ratua heso ke a ratua ke le lapa laka le haeba ha le nrate ke le motho le tshwanetse le hlomphe hore institution ena e sebeletsa setjhaba. Me majority of people who may not have money to access higher education come to this university. It is not worth it that we waste a lot of time fighting one another instead of building. That energy that we use to undermine each other's integrity, let us repurpose it, work with Mutebele to put a brick on top of a brick so that we build this university to success. I want to reassert that even as we celebrate this Universal Access Center, the buildings that we are refurbishing that come from prior history, that we should be proud as the current leadership of the university in all the varieties of leadership, that we are doing what needs to be done, and we should do it as fast, with agility, and with respect for the dignity of our society and the students that join this university. I want to restate that some of us who are creating a lot of challenges for the university are beneficiaries of the investments that many of us would have made to this university and to themselves as individuals. And it's very important, colleagues, when you have been given a leaf of leadership, an opportunity that we don't waste it. So I did not come here to talk about ethics, morality, how we conduct each other. But we must take leadership to ensure that this university is a site of success. Don't send each other WhatsApp to say, we are now the richest university or the second richest university. When outside you were throwing stones, I see your WhatsApps, they make rounds. There's no dignity and respect amongst us. When there are good things, let's celebrate them collectively. It's your investment as it is the management investments. This center will be collaborating with ICT systems. Our country is dependent on ICT systems of China, of Korea, of Germany, of the United States. I would like Menakene to ensure that this number of people who have a lot of energy but reinvesting it elsewhere get the retraining to ensure that such facilities are going to be helpful for our students as they would be helpful for our academics. Finally, colleagues, when we went to Stanford University and University UCLA, California, Los Angeles, Mr. Mutebele, Ms. Nakene, and other academics, Professor Masinya is here, Professor, the Dean of Agricultural Sciences, now acting as the VP DEA, Professor Mahanu. We said this university will not succeed if we don't work collaboratively as these three streams, professionals, administrative staff, academics, and the students. And we learned from some of these examples that when academics work with administrative and professional staff, they yield the best outcomes for the university. What we are celebrating here today as the output of facilities and operations is also a partnership with the academic enterprise from the College of Education. Professor Tabane, I've not forgotten you because Pasha is still with you, so we will also shine your mantle. So this project is successful because of that partnership. And I would like for us as UNISA to really affirm that the university will not succeed if we don't partner with one another. The university is a site of excellence. It will live even when we have left. We need to cradle it to future generations and do so with dignity. I want to thank you all for your leadership, for your work, for your dreams and visions, for UNISA to being a site of excellence. I also want to thank our partner, the Department of Science and Technology and Higher Education, for its support even as we wrestle with other contradictions. I want to also tell you that tomorrow we will be going to Parliament to account as the university on the state of the university. And I'm proud to saying, with all the contradictions, I'm hopeful that the university is doing better than what is reported in the newspapers. And you, colleagues, and it is only because of your talent, expertise, and the investments that you make, even when sometimes you don't want to do it, we'll still encourage you to invest even more so that this university is a site of excellence. Ke a leboha. Siyabonga.
Another round of applause for Professor LenkaBula. I want to take a few minutes to tell you about Professor LenkaBula. She's inventive, she's innovative, she's sincere, she's inspirational. She has a great eye for talent.
I think what we should do.
Yes. Yes. Thank you, colleagues. My boss is supportive. She's Mama Action, Mema Semola, because she demands that same action from herself. And so she has those high standards for all of us. She is firm and she is warm. And it is because of her leadership that we are here today. Thank you, Professor LenkaBula. We want to now, I would like us to move to the next phase of our program. We are going to go and experience the SOD turning. We're going to be led by Mr. Mutebele. I would request Professor LenkaBula, the VC, members of council, members of management, Mr. Kubai, Mr. Sibeko, Mema Salesa, and the NRC, SRC representatives, please. Please follow Mr. Mutebele as we go to the SOD turning ceremony. And then once we are done with that, we're going to get a vote of thanks from Mr. Sibeko. Yes, we will do the vote of thanks outside, yes. Please, thank you.
And Miss Sophie for the sign language. Thank you very much, colleagues, and please allow me to say all protocols observed. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. Now that it has officially been done, please allow me to take this opportunity to take a vote of thanks to each and every one of you for gracing us with your presence and ensuring this tremendous occasion of the sword turning that we have just witnessed a success. The 4 remarkable projects being commissioned here today signifies the beginning of taking our institute even greater heights in ensuring that, you know, the issues of inclusivity, security and growth within the higher education sector are addressed. I would also like to first and foremost express our gratitude to DHET, Department of Higher Education and Training, for their support and funding of this project we are launching today. Without your vision, without your faith in our vision and dedication, none of this would have been possible. So thank you very much. We are honored to have with us today our dignitaries who have taken time out of their hectic schedules to be with us. And our heartfelt appreciation goes to Mr. Muleme in absentia and Tate Kubai for being with us almost on a monthly basis in ensuring that these projects, we leave no room for errors in terms of ascertaining the success. I would also like to thank in absentia respective offices of the Premier of Gauteng, Tate Sufi, as well as the Executive Mayor, Councillor Brink, because the launch of this project wouldn't have been possible without the requisite approvals, or mandatory approvals from both provincial and local government. We acknowledge the key liaison role that the ward councillor and ward committees members play in this project, and we look forward to engagements as we troubleshoot issues that come up in successful execution of projects of this nature. We'd also like to express our gratitude to all women who are here today. With August being the Women's Month, it signifies the importance of celebrating the women of this country who fought and ensured that the creation of inclusive environment which supports and empowers all members of society, you know, is achieved. And as Unisa, we do share the same vision with you for water. I would like to also express our gratitude to our Unisa Council Chairperson, Tate Mabua in absentia, also Tate Musia, the Deputy Chairperson of Council in absentia, and Meram Paka for being with us here today, and the rest of the council members who are witnessing this historical moment of taking Unisa infrastructures to greater heights in our quest to build smart campuses. Our special appreciation to our VC, Prof LenkaBula, for your leadership and steadfast backing in ensuring that today we are celebrating this groundbreaking event. And as indicated earlier, that it couldn't have come at a perfect time when the university is celebrating 150 years, and to add a cherry on top with August being the Women's Month. So congratulations, VC, for this achievement. To all members of senior management, the Student Representative Council, Women's Forum, Disability Forum, and Black Forum, thank you very much for being with us. Your involvement and commitment to this project have been invaluable, and we are grateful that you are with us today. We'd also like to thank the members of Organized Labor, NEHAW, and APSA for being with us in this journey of shaping futures in our esteemed university. We thank our contractor partners, the consultants, the professional teams who have demonstrated that the show have indeed begun with all this plant around us and the dust around us. Thank you very much, colleagues. And to the facilities management team, especially projects directorate led by the director, Nichiuzu Nolobalani. Thank you very much, colleagues. I know you are at the forefront of this and you're burning a lot of hours. We have even now created the war rooms where we are fighting to ensure that this project succeed. Thank you very much, colleagues. Kudos to facilities management. To all individuals, teams, and departments involved in planning and execution of today's event, we salute your hard work, dedication, and attention to detail. Please receive my special thanks to the SOD Training Organizing Committee, which included the VC's Office, Department of Institutional Advancement, Protection Services, Sounds, Video and Photography, Facilities Management, Supply Chain Management, Study Material, Print and Production. Colleagues, thank you very much. We made it happen. Thank you. We thank and express our appreciation to our Program Director, Menakene Mgimwi, and our Sign Language Interpreter, Mema Baso, for the sterling work that they have done today. Colleagues, we have indeed, steered this ship with excellence, indeed, confirming that women are in charge. In conclusion, ladies and gentlemen, today marks a significant milestone for UNISA as we embark on a journey towards a more inclusive, secure, and modern institution. We firmly believe that these projects will provide a solid foundation for the future generations to excel and grow. Once again, thank you very much for joining us on this auspicious occasion. We are looking forward to witnessing a tremendous impact that these projects will have on our entire UNISA community and beyond.